Hello, and welcome to another episode of PSY-POD, the podcast about nothing, the podcast that people don't care about but still watch for some reason. Anyways, if this is your first time watching this podcast, we are basically a podcast where we have a conversation, no interview style, even though it may seem like an interview. It's basically a conversation, a chateau, two friends over tea and pastries, something like that kind of vibe. So hope you enjoy. So before we begin, maybe we can get our guests today to introduce who they are. So please say hello to our local and international fans.
Hello everyone. I'm Ugyen. I am also a student and co-founder of NoMind. So yeah, that's pretty much. During high school, I'm known as Robotic or Mexico, and right now I'm known as Ugyen Tech.
Oh my, we'll get into that in a bit. So, but basically, Ugyen is known as Ugyen Tech, and he's a tech-based student / founder plus software developer. You could call that. Okay, but we'll get into that. With that being said, live from Juno Studios, PSY-POD starts now. PSY-POD. All right, okay, we're back. And yeah, so before we begin, Ugyen, give me 1 second to give shout out to a few number of people. So one being also is DOMCIIP. Thank you for supporting this podcast and the mics that we have here. Oh shit, I was not careful with the wires. I set my wire on the okay, should be fine now. Should be. And also Ugyen has been kind enough to bring us some pastries. Okay, so we'll open that whilst we talk. But then also before we start, I also have to thank my lovely podheads, the members. Actually, he's on podhead too, but now he cannot continue to be a podhead because his Australia card has rejected it. But that's how the payment system works in Bhutan.
I'm sorry.
What to do? It's okay. At least he was a former podhead, which supporting is still appreciated. And if you want to support, you can join the membership program by clicking that join button if it's visible. If not, the button is in the description. Also, you get perks such as the verbal visual shout-outs like this. So thank you, our podheads. Big ups. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Even though I cannot name you guys one by one like I used to, we still appreciate it. And thank you so much. Even though every time update, but I see your names and I see you guys renewing your membership. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also the people who have upgraded to the Podhead Pro, which you get a verbal shout out. So that being said, Doti, thank you so much. This is your 3rd episode. I think you're milking everything you can with Podhead Pro because I'm shooting this episode like back to back. So big ups to you. Thank you, Yume. Thank you, Doti, for supporting. Okay. Now let's catchphrase to me. So with that being said, let us begin.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So Ugyen Tech. Checky, okay, let's just for someone who doesn't know what you're about more. But actually let's talk about the first time we met more. Yeah. Interesting. So you can refresh my memory.
Okay.
Tell the guys.
It's a very coincident. I was invited by GovTech for Bhutanese tech startup founders. So they have a networking session, remember, so that they can come together, brainstorm, and then government they can share their experience, their challenges. So that's why GovTech started organize a networking session, something like Tea Zumbe, where they all tech founders. So I was there. But because I was last day, I was doing Wangmo. We had our office nara, but GovTech insisted any shows because last one they said I've seen some other important meetings on this, so I decided to go there. So I was sitting there, and then even start baby 10 minutes later, Jamyang is coming. I was sitting here and
Jamyang is there.
Yeah, at first Jamyang rocked them, and then I need the junior game. Then the banner through 10 minutes jawle at normal rock to know him pass. At normal home chin nasib Josiva, the co-pie side na jobe, the language even be and baby. They'll tea break nothing of Hajove, it's not big fan of you. Lola, the Gyalpozhing side for the tenure was own. Junior students and a big penny left. The Sai Power, the junior, Xiao Jun Nalose. after joges lapsa che free wachin khoi ki joge lapdone tenga tup lappe di mu tenga char call chap office na da nale home se bang direct phajulo me lapchi cheso direct chimna yaso tele home ani jogelo teo a game yemu achul call chap de ba de khogi
ko call chap chi kana di ba de
te khoi lapde wa mashi khoi yan chi chimno jo da chi video edit be de lapde ba so khoi yan chi na on lo tele khoi jogelo jioi mo na om chin achu na dente and the Cheve and like Gara doesn't say
the Mogaria Yami Yamagade
doesn't say
Camera NoMind's
Garo then the Garachin Topju. So luckily I get Garachica patch and Topsa.
Yeah, right here in Juno Studios. Oh, which makes me reminds me 1 second. Ani jamming it subscribe to Juno Studios and Juno Music. They're coming up with new stuff soon, very soon. A lot of new stuff, music and other good bits like podcasts and short films. So check that out. And also, 56% of people who watch this podcast, if you're new, subscribe to now. Come on, man. You guys are watching it. It makes me happy. Maybe for you, you'll forget about it the next 3 days after, just like your meal. But at least it helps the channel. It helps everybody who's a part of this
video
podcast.
Subscribe me.
But it's okay. I'm also at 4 times. If I'm watching something which like the 1, 2, 3 times more, subscribe in me habit.
I do me. I don't. Oh, content is okay. He deserves searching. Like especially Bhutanese blogger like 70, 80 subscribers.
Support the big small ones more. That's
I gave him like high school YouTube absolutely
okay.
So Ugyen Tech YouTube channel everything I guess.
Random
video load this I halam video hide besai psycho lash business
so content creator was it like something in your plans or
no only just we're trying to document journey so that namna se reflect be oda silape ani be tuk jabe phalo
okay
the interest rate to tell me
okay
1,000 views is more like 600-500 views and so
okay
so just ani gane me that just I love video editing by hamadi
what did you use
hamadi azum Adobe habi as shimu Adobe she dele After Effects habchisa memiswe ko rai dele tatudi CapCut ani kongi desktop version du mena
yeah
so uncomfortable do no
very user friendly
jamme I dele and then chidi daro ni laptop as wikis dele daro so large so ngaji AI gi student bindigi model training bodo de laptop ki soundban bindigi storage to static mindful be ko
okay all right, now let's go a little bit transition to Chira. Now you're a student and you're also the CEO and founder of NoMind. So for people who don't know what NoMind is, please educate me and also the audience.
NoMind it's like we call it AI startups. It's solely based on AI. So we try to build AI solutions like AI solution and tools for corporate bureau individual bureau. So it's based on AI. It's only what we first started that time it's pre ChatGPT maumba. So still then until I was self-driving car na opera and they were obsessed this self-driving simulation so opera de umba Python habbe high school tepta. So anangagi machine learning the reinforcement learning lo AI kol at habchuba. So another interest daily school join college college join I joined them and then computer science AI hub. So I was very much interested. I started doing research. I started building chatbots. So started building chatbots and it's sort of thing. And then somehow ChatGPT with the 20 potential comes to ChatGPT like literally minor open possibilities are thousand so I started charging try beginning at least if we can sell to one bank rabes watching through halam so email up I started and be called charo insist be the chartanga side project be my co-founder Jampal danga side project be niko so
chimo mitane de minus okay
then and be after that hackathon tik de hackathon chidi I believe ani God ki parties because we were working on A.I Chatbot today and then college task sell dombe hackathon start base college nalo
okay nice
and then hackathon ki problem statement kongi ani customer call lash on the customer service na lo mitsuki handle be misube semote say
so what you want the AI
recruiting people is not an effective solution so that's why they want technology to solve this semote so AI tip gonna match on so we have almost ready more this is winner thopchi first year student winner thopchi
okay and how much was the grant or whatever prize
grant mathop and thopchi phone stasel the phone stop.
which day phone
Samsung A1211 na bimchi.
Oh, come on, it is still at least flagship cheese in the way. Come on, man.
Actually, ani same guy.
Okay.
Narai dile hackathon hema beba. High school dip tanga tang denir I used to participate hackathon startup weekends zitera de umade. So my friends were there kongi first hackathon they won over motivated day and then anale national hackathon day nalo. We came here and I some chatbot so with the second top chimo anam cash prize top 100,000
okay which is grant
more guarantee
okay and they give you in 2 installments or one time
na prize second runners up benidiki
so just prize or deliverable you have to make a system for the other thing
and winner give you up the
yeah so second prize no deliverable okay
so we prayed but ibera first second top to say
la bichu
oh yeah first you watching the cash prize for 4 lakhs thing
oh
high day we need to deliver project so much flexibility second top pray baby the second lisem gabe tele charol expect should we start company chi betam na lapchi mu ko excited denu lapchi to divide baby guys beni mo digidi tatra ngachi yachi use be much baby waste chung thati try be tanges lapsa okay yeah let's do it lo
so license gotta be
yeah and the license gidi is very interesting and see ngachi we thought baby product join joges lapchi ba and then somehow ngachi a student memo kagi leni the kagi pilipini kachi memo kate proposal to is kage lema dupse still that some existing companies ki hepa ngachi reject up chise that the khora go be se wonde ba so ji ani that
ji pat manje
pat juni ki loji member it's just that first na kongi value ma shebe ba chidi and then second chi ngachi convey be ma so ba how much important it is the second chi implement be odalo importance after that another kongi gope and baby so any heart feeling the enemy very thank you mo clients like they are accepting and paying us for what they so any so being big they love this they want to sign MOU lo mo so for MOU you need to have business license lo what
of course
the business license kade be na churu time 11 since research be de
I some but I'll tell my journey later
and then license pay gar be how the top chi del top sao dero joy mo ya delo and then you TPN pin lo
yeah
the revenue customer jo TPN pin len ba del zo bank account zo and then MOU sign up the first payment top still rock first was very as low
is it like a one time fee or is it every annual maintenance fee
every year to go subscription based is like SaaS sumbera so every year tedra job
so what is the product
that the it's Chuzek like people took the AI Chatbot from Thomba website but we are evolving from AI Chatbot to any CRM longba customer relationship management systems so on customer relationship management is like customer service customer care chusiki ani information scar deumba like what problem kachi thenga and problem the solve joega majoga the any problem the kachi gina so we have dashboards unchira we give all the analytics there anilu client
okay back in
so that they can lock in dashboard nalu and then client to kachi problem thenga gar sheba de example bank na bochindi or any embob na ani side na problem undi the any branch nalu through anzumbe stock has to anzumbe the through la anzum to say actually we make sentimental analysis so like segment zo and then there any jumba actually high time the like which period time na lo mi mamo nega and so like detail like kongi requirement that we made any data like we literally make them to make a data driven decision data provide baby with report the chikabe
okay but how does it work for a layman person so basically BNB website open page chatbot site na deu and since it's AI based where is this which the source of knowledge there
we first the website correct website is so ngachi chiga solve be mazu sindarna badi website na bedalo if you go to website be bedale che loan gi example che loan gi document che mo the chiki dai kati ka de misheba de you need to menu na jo mo ya top bar na header na jo menu button check job drop down so kara check job let's search big nana z jo with the last time thome minute so if chatbot na jo in the direct I want unloan gi
okay
documents are once pop up thing with
man han ha go at least like how it works but then like how do you feed it the information? Because I get how ChatGPT works. ChatGPT has internet, open source, knowledge more. Gemini has Google. So where does your source of information come?
We first they can fit any documents na look at the na like PDF files the Excel jumba. So we fit biong and then the website na lang.
So the engine learns it.
Web crawling is over. So backend na lo we put any website ki site maps along website ki site map di sukara any page ki link to stay we pull all this page and then put it backend na lo and then we script handle crawl ben go information ka ara thu important information ka ara thu be and then we vectorize him badani vectorized forms them is like basically any binary numbers be any machine ki number na zone so that any mambe chu watching the it's code it gets very heavy in the any database na so vector na zo and then we put it and then there are chunks lape any related discussion zumbe paragraph zumbe somba chunks zobe and then if database na and then when you ask question nale tanga nale where is the loan gi any documents ochin there when where any loan gi documents the babe there there embedding model gi any vector beomba and then it will feed it to any vector search and then it will try to match there ani question gi answer din na match to kamido so the rank zone try chong mandele chigani chunks so yimena ngachi ani gara rank zo be tele ani rank dale danga chigi top 3 and top 5 ngachi top 5 chong top 5 di ba be dele LLM last language ChatGPT to model do ha na ngachi kongi API use chong bade so dele ChatGPT na hebdalo tele ngachi ani chunks di ba be ani kon lo feed be ya chi ani ki answer cham zo cheragi knowledge di jase so any particular ki chamchi so lape la ko ki answer ani ki chamchi ki jing mate English form so which ani the convert baby so basically ani ki di racks labi readable augmented generation se this pipeline technology di racks se
pa ma pachin su ki college thama khibler ran thlab janu mo
interesting day ani rack day I'm personally very much interested ani rack daily interest ngachi use case ma sheba mes use case sheba chin ka te implement betini me like nga di still that habdo ani ta to ngai la me di advanced last to ba tatonga itami the very basic architecture and the karagi songa gi ngachi kita to gi ani ra chabi so there advanced architecture last to so explore baby
but ani go slow so after BNB chigi the service provider so other banks also which other banks
that recently the Bhutan development anyway BTB so we signed contract with them
but you didn't do the service yet
taton pa ma sa ani end of July beginning na implement beni
then other than that
other than BNB BOB Dugier
really
Dugier is live tatoya recently the Bhutan airline chikai be recently means last kaskanim made this na be
all right so before we go to other parts I need to focus before then basically how did you actually get those deals because you're still relatively young college thama keve charles she co-found baby lochi jam jasno so how did you get to the point where you can get those big contracts with big companies
ani we need to go back me ngagi hemagi high school days
okay let's go back but before we go back more sure. Please have a cupcake here otherwise the comments will scold me saying ani game lumo cake first rasize on me first of all this is my house okay second of all I did offer him and if he eats more then what to do the mazawichin then ga zata hunde dignom la dampu lisivichin more live in the 1960s okay the people in the comments anyways cheers
okay
let's go back
like sit
ani
and sap to mena norlingi ani norling lo traffic ki sign around cafe sap takin consultancy gi holu de mena
maton okay
ani billing sap chap si gi holu ra
not bad okay sorry go
no ani it's like when I was in high school ngagi I love to I was known as robotics robot se bong mam gira because I was very much into robotics STEM education there robot now very focused tele I started and startup giding a shule chamchi beba before I was very ani hub roluteni se ngani sole proper and they say like profit zonilo through zonilo se no sma matambe I just want to teach what I learned memang I am a robot baby because I represented Bhutan halam chichika baby exposure halam thopchiba de so that's why ngana Bhutan ombe Bhutan Tech Force la pichika chiba
okay
we had 8 members so ngagi an suba tele samar nga alu suba ambe kate gelfugi samchigi alju babe ngachi ani workshop bejini ba like coding basic dus tenjin robot kati so ina electronics asar tenjin ani beni ba so ani kablo it's like we need fun ba mapal so gage fun mo parents gi di jini lojira ma de mo social mapal ma de so what I had to do the random proposal di babe literally me ani whole ani company ka arna chuisi sponsor bena se kage mo the next time the deleting ani process ki boda I came to learn how we should approach me over the answer ani the facts me but it's not right me right channel we should follow from maulebe mo I manager lu jo ya ta pass pe and jo ba so Bhutan ani mbs because it's stuck somewhere bunalu mi chigi ni gi boda stuck me ba so what I realize is we need to come from Yalebe Mova.
That's I had literally the same conversation with Charoya. Could have this large meter. She anime on what I never almost love the same labji, much.
Yeah, and we're
is gone.
So Yalera Ongo. So that's why I direct application got it Jinimi, Yanji managing director, Yanji CEO. Direct demo, or expect to Karatu anyway, Trangachi Kachipedo and Pacho proposal Zo, Chakwachi Zobabe, from Transaya. Mali Zudra, CEO office kate mo slap pe thamsa appointment yep sundra oh Mali is watching confident na US slap as the jo I have chin dele PLU bag be gote please student ni 5 minutes chamchi azum jira so PLU gi data si ani especially all PH gi data mo ans di
hajo don't match it don't much jin be purchase landa
so mumna young PH ashim shim so 안주기디 사치 노라면 봐. 정말 don't want the kongi aslam so ba de. To be 5 minutes samchi mesra de. So ani be big nanazi tele dash to stay chala ba chi compensate he ba chindi. Nolam ni probability 10% samchi se 90% yes long.
Really?
Definitely. Na PCO cheso ba chindi it's 90% from that you will get minimum of 15,000 donation aram na 50 to 50 kongi ani duba CEO gi khoragi level di range to the lalugi 50,000 since the donation to be lalugi 1 lakh to be the lalugi
oh they have to keep
lalugi 30 ans mode so kongi maximum to bendi kongi jintam no wate so ani be asra collect baby on bondalu so ani ji habju ba dengi proposal d okay proposal
mazuru na shadang alla pane debe tama it looks
okay sorry
awkward okay don't worry tama comments ki ngasiam san mili see functional mic stand okay go on
ani dele so ani process I hobjuba any experience how we should approach so I same replicated the proposal chakpach d chatbot call karak d be ji the tuma tupsit as bome asu de deme na dadi
cute bottom
to ma pale rami katte jor tuma tupsi dele the last na bnb na have that when jina ashim ashim di still cheni very thankful to her I'm all big base hasumra please tuna on pia
see you better hiche daro
mogi anal tup labde 5 minutes amchi no hajo chindele demonstrate be chindele laptop babu jiba the demo teni laptop khachi uchi demo tenji ani me yazum sam impress us to really like your initiative lo tele boite director sar tam ka arabo team chira honde
oh nice
present belo yara
oh
ppt khachi uchi prepare gane ma rock english bok pe tanji mo impress us to tele implement begelo through kamchimolo or price ra mazo that time
then kachibe going the through home memo de
product news la bachini
product new la the price ma de gudu
ani ma de ngai ani yubade okay the zoges la pe product zo sabe de cham through chindo ons no yubade kongi di direct through kamchimo osemo de chamsra so same kara mademo ni nalu 44,000 se de katte lo inga mashise
44,000 yeah
I 44,000 lapji te fast na
so that's peanuts for them there for
super does not that is a higher price because we ship about the value
obviously
and the profit member we need to make break even to the government
of course sure
chika de chapda it's very cheap that ya but we need to make some break even member that the I mean the hima the 44 lakh shaimo
per month or annually oh my god oh gelama
team gidi same gano de contract of chise
first big deal of course sure
and then ngaya same guy gani di three college no somra mata you thought like ngajera himchinal juro ete da ges lapchi because unless cash price as deiba de 60 de saving deiba so ani you stop tani no deiba at least dilji de chise no mo we can show it and be baby deleko ani Dasho was very enough tani kaslo director sir what gadilani 55 balo he made it 55 de tele da ngachi pricing 55 shay was starting and then 55 chatbot so much in la khongi account na tritsuk jinsi
Oh, nice.
panic zabe de gajbe na masho tele chatbot so ni go si jimo tele service agi ani ngare khatule bochin what I do is best thing agi customer service the I compromise ma me best how much busy is this client ki call how much in the I give preference to that ani client so feedback ke thopchi lejum ra chiso ki customer service lejum du se problem thim ching agi like I tried within 1-2 hours na fix penigi kasum be de team so kage response ma be de beria I tried ngarai khatule 100% ra so that ani ki bodol chidi phagimi asik same go ma ba
Sure
ani bindigi so ani retention ma me ba de so
sure
BNB is now ngachi ki that second year complete as joni be de
okay, nice.
continue be BOB chi 1 year khas kam jam chi asim me now 1 year has done
now second year
July now ngachi renew sign chapter the contract
okay
and so retention lejum du ba
to sign a multi-year contract why 1 year there
ani khongi 1 year bishop me because the Bhutan BTB chi me na 5 years ki biggest longest ani
and how did you get the BTB deal there from the word of mouth
khora chi shin call on the direct
that's nice
ngachi ki we started hunting see ani client ani le ngachi second client le we started hunting because we knew shichiba de asiti overload to the me say and then we need other features to bring him about so clients also use any monga feature pani mo as madeva de so we started doing ngachi TikTok na video nam so ni mi study hema de TikTok na video so edit to ani be
client attract to put the eyes on
tadi ani shai tele ngachi slowly development na focus pe diva how we should make any let's say chatbot le CRM so that ngachi ki namla show comes to international market capture bini be so car ani वही the caller artist के caller वही BTBL के caller वही Bhutan airline के caller वही खरंजो वही न RICB के they wanted to me but fun as finalize mazolo so it's still that low level guy so once they next year financial show ni home maybe
okay which brings me to the question why are you still in college because you drop out mabe zakabak pul be komono
yeah tttt like last time chikale the one this any mind
no obviously education is important but I think in terms of education Rob you've educated yourself enough that the shokochi den le mocha game okay not to discredit GCIT
sure man
ma peshi de legend you know but right now you're in a position to start your career which is actually what college is meant for so what is keeping you back
chidi hagi himalaya rani se I never tried to mix my academic and NoMind professional gila I give academic as my responsibility chimo the phagi ngi responsibility so I try to ani balance bera na so kan kati compromise pedro I try to not compromise these two anyway so I respect both imba chi ngai high school na bero ani ngai robot gi dele class miss peni is very less
but chi beilo men anyway
important yobachin I try to call explanation be so that way school na ani if I very important meetings ngai teacher lab test se as possible bena ngara cham chip ge se tele class se wachin di ngara gi time table le na so we get 10% to about 90% go by so anna fix be wachin di jo the member chin di I try to request at when be teachers ge understand be so ani chi khongi understand be ba so they respect my me ba so chi di nga ani my teachers kho they are putting so much hard works memo so like any course jo da di mitu ba de so I also need to respect them more so chi di ngara gi dele ya ime me na at least I will have some anime about
something to fall back into
like I have some graduation
but I think right now your CV is more stronger than your degree man
definitely anything I can know me but at least something is better than nothing is better
fair enough
so ani bindigi almost sai sate the 1 year de chira me am daro ngana sami pressure bo chi lo chi me nga
pressure am chi
me because nga college ti ani ma we are quite different as an exam me ba so we don't really need to study and pesatani be mongo just like normal project based better project based
class
attend be practical 4 hours each one dinalo and class attend be tel practical be project submission chi be presentation chi be and be judung ma it's like ani se ani lab me khongi labra practical base any industry
so not many exams
no industry based page me ba khongi ani be ni digi pressure thete certain point na doni because ani this week demi na free la miss actually ani last week did pack this super pack ani ki la dele UNTP ki presentation mo khongi ni la kasm ani PM ki suni me ani even na ngai talk ti jingo la pe ngachi gen scar de gop diwa so super pack di ana luti so ani chi no me like I need to look my teacher le mo the lectures to say they have been putting lots of hard works. So I try to ignore better me do and then chi did the parents to say that to hami go men atisimo. They prefer any paper diramu paper in the sense the degree diramu. They like
the old school method.
Any chi that they feel secure with the demen.
Yeah, sure.
I get to no me, but still then I have bishop the 1 year the chirame. Let me try bishop again get lape. And then cheat the college ne big up slow. I give anchimeva space where I can experiment me what the so I that drop up better watching the I need to have office possible more. Secondly, the employees to tolop jingo mush. The other less expensive come to do there. So tama I did the lab amount to watching the as an junior. So that's why that experiment when you go up the I have free office yara college now, free Wi-Fi, free electricity.
Okay, fair enough.
The team this will just Stephen Asrejin to we can do savings baby. So we can flexibility to do say. Any reason I'm still there.
Okay, fair enough. You gave me too many points to argue with you. So good for you. But then GCIT also I think is an interesting college now, especially last time I started weekend also checked the day. Like compared to the other kids that I met from other colleges, it's slightly different because of the degree of what you guys are studying. But very interesting, very enterprising.
Notice space whenever we put together such exposure in experience ki boda in academy na ngalam ni unique thome even if you develop like product you develop be the back end coding side ki ngalam ni mimo but visually ta ko de to achal chi so mo yalo so anchi UI lesson zo designing sense because we got foreign designer mom is coding this mom group kitemi ani designing
but UI this
mom chili be bade so
UI UX seminar
we course UI UX lape
okay
second year not
by the way user interface and user experience for you gauners who don't know by the way anyways okay let's move on a little bit so then UNDP because last time I saw on TikTok mentioned more talking nice words about you so what was that all about what happened be
ani di much the king PM Gikadebe cook any bigger he mentioned our but they got any they are launching any human development reports every year launch pen duba so this year the as AI that's related duba so because AI any lesha any segment duba de so they are talking how AI baby mitsuki efficient kadebe increase penina ani college report this launch pe deba so at that time they also wanted to any Bhutan AI to get impact bedega. So DHI lo ondeba. So DHI wants any DHI showing how they are innovating more AI gi baby. Dele ani so this day ala health sector na kade bedoga and this try. Kuzia.
Wow, 2 types of rice. Look, Jamil. Thank you, Jamil. What a nice guy. And studio exists.
And then anibe so the ngachiki segment the business transforming businesses with AI so we are basically doing corporate customer segment so they want a tech talk style tech talk style and presentation bureau kachperu go besme so I agree then opportunity me karai tong kalu lam thobes agree baby so I was preparing ngachi dele we started doing any analysis here and reports beteng go case studies how ngachi chatbot can baby we did ngachi BNB the cheka de BOB ki cheka so I was very shocked to see that kongi nalo customer care ki nalo 78% ki workload reduce pe lo chatbot ki live chat nalo so hema di kon live type chap ko that is 78% reduce pe no and then call the 17% ki fewer hoin lo se ngachi chatbot
nice
so hema didi ani dupte doctor chipte ni bindu bate how our chatbot is any kon affect like impact kade pe doga but we kon data pe we did analysis bo lo thinde so ani ki be kon anjum chi present be tele ngachi ki how we are any national land commission the chika they have done so funny de tapu dibu 1966 ki paper this do se sonka hindi du lalo nepali this do land record this bekjoni sumbe do de so ani the beaso chi land ki lo judu me
how come they not made soft copies there
soft copies bas anjum be janu se patch tap pe digi di mituba de
so basically she nice way of saying they cause a large room away say
no ani remember it's just that I'm saying like the initiative they take be but amchi mombe mabe so that we can preserve this ani mabate. So
Archiving, yeah.
Archiving digital na besup se.
Besup de.
Besup.
Tani gachi mabena de.
Ani
Shuma bini gide.
Kali tamne.
Kola ko ko because he wants clients. Okay,
no. They are trying their best because they made anime se disaster proof buildings onu se.
Wow.
Anna tuk janu ka ara.
Disaster proof building.
Yeah.
Arson commit bini ya.
Normal building thing devata. Disaster proof tino. Okay, disaster proof building is labde. So basically this is why this.
No, but I get what you're saying. But then they can also make digital copies in this age of minute. Why? But India ne bingu shega.
No mashi.
India ki government. Fun fact. India ki government mom shara their secret and archival documents is still in paper because they don't want the data breach. Most of India's documents, special secret money, secret service, GOI documents, is still in paper. Correct me if I'm wrong, because they don't want to breach and data leak. Because AI is getting more sophisticated from it. So they're saying physical copy, lock in key, old school method. So maybe in a way they're also thinking like that.
We propose college to Chikabe. College NoMind we signed last time MOU signed we are also a partner team. So koi project we DPS and so any NLC ne ngachi what doing telechani se paper na tube bate tumni dimo and then searching the lakadu se if you want your land document che achuta che thap no mo land kole lawyer gi chilo an basla land document chile 1 week google se compare physically job sigolo.
So why aren't they digitizing?
So digital bedi bere ani searching the mundu ba.
Yeah, okay.
So rack lap any ranking this 10 ani be. So ngachi an implement bege lap. So we are doing this project khonda chika.
But do these people more are afraid that you could, what they call misuse the data that you've been provided with?
Ani the ngachi ki safe be nidi ki they are trusting but anchi they are not that much ani technalu belief chi me na. I'm not sure. Trust me, believe me, mashi.
One of those true, yeah.
So,
but then it's still thing what they call viable for a data breach if hacker khatara patient absorb then manipulate then probably I could say that I own every land in Bhutan because anaten business.
I feel chi own some and then chi they prefer any old convenient way that I made. So let them.
I think that's just a reflection of our society. We prefer the old ways, new ways. Except minigi, hame hara megoe mena. Anime benise memes hara megoe.
Try to mabe wadi mishe. So implement beta watching. Chidani mes implement bebe legend majo watching public sugi as it.
But then if you're too afraid, we're not willing to take risks.
I'm trying to say risks means they want to play safe game. So
safe game will never get you.
We did ngachara party. We submitted the prototype to say ready, and then some discuss about the we are answering chili. So if they want to move forward, we are ready. Then if we watching, we can't push much men. So sort of focus beni
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's dial back a little bit. So now you've done a little bit projects with companies here and all. College jodo. Then the question is the future still with NoMind making AI chatbots, or is it what you call something else? Yeah. Well, what's the ultimate? What you gonna make a social media network? What are you gonna make an AI-based product place?
The future in the sense customer relationship management se. Ani kongi CRM we use physically do ticketing to skara begova lead to say ana kongi to le problem solve jega majogani click be and so we want to put AI so that AI will know okay and problem solve asila be takna. Completed too and pending na security khogibe so me just they just need to see data chamchi result chamchi me chamchi same gano anchibenu reports ochindele download chap report that's all so dele digital mamshe gono custom data gono wachindi ani daru dashboard ki nanara will have some chatbot more and click baby Ngaji customer gamchi same maga gamchi kuni azumbe report they can ask anything question data kole.
Okay, I got everything what you're saying, but why can't these what they call big companies in Bhutan, these public companies in Bhutan, these very big shareholder companies in Bhutan have an IT department which can make in-house all these items? Because the BOB is also the company which came MBOB, which was a revolutionary product in Bhutan. So why can't they big in-house? Why is it? Is it because they don't have the capacity to do it? Is it because they bogged down with other projects? What makes you think? Because right now, if someone who's basically a startup company can come up with a product solution why can't they do it themselves? What makes you guys different? And how is it not replicatable?
Yeah. but the labo de minemo, we might lose outline, but I can say to Anikadivina. Mboblo onto the it's a Kongi product, but honestly say developing I be watching the Kongi baby member then.
Indian,
Yeah.
Indian clients.
Lab Google.
But we can cut it out if you don't like it.
Any Kimi and Laptangi. Because many banks nalu, if you go there more, IT department nalu, they have some any Buddhist there, but Indian chatbot you see.
So why are they hiring Bhutanese local resource?
Yeah, and Bhutanese kimi they don't do any heavy loading. I'm saying maybe few people who hate them to just coordinate more Indians. That's all. Rest is the website handle there. The system as down
so let's say IT director.
Yeah.
Okay. So the IT director, let's say year-end meeting. Yeah, the anyway asumo kachi sub innovation then you mean kasun de ya me kame pa ya.
Depi Indian developers se Kongi Indian developer di daru emera Kongi hire baby mensi anzume se consultant zumbe. Ngachi office nge chi company ra na umela bi di ngachi kasela. Te tele tachi na feature sap suni ba chindi chi embob na feature sap suni me embob sra lab jome da so kachira bero mobile wallet chi lab di to.
Okay, mobile wallet.
I'm not saying BOB cham chi me to that khandal embob ra
Okay, mobile banking applications.
Mobile banking application chi na chi feature sap chi suni me mo. Then you go to that Indian ginal jobe. But
I think I felt the similar thing which I why are we so reliant on Indian service providers?
Vietnam.
Okay, foreign service providers. Why aren't we trying to bank on our own service products? Is it cheaper? That's my question. Is it cheaper?
No.
It's more expensive.
Damn expensive. What we charge is nothing to compare them.
Why are you charging so low?
We're trying to give trust, Tampara. We're trying to give product that is very strong, good, so that they can get trust. So I can say like BOB is very much actually interested now. They have gained our trust and then they trust so much.
Okay.
The project back.
So let's say in the IT departments of these banks, when a young team like you guys come and provides a solution for a problem which they probably didn't even think about.
They very supportive.
Oh, nice.
They ngachi contact lab because mo ngachi service team the last na maintenance to handles so they're very supportive. Hey, no man gi mo labe come labe like students labe they very supportive.
No, that's quite nice.
Yeah, but until the other international vendors to build them chitu.
Oh,
because
but they're trying to monopolize the damn market.
They have any feel better. They say, okay, we are losing our market.
Yeah, obviously.
And feel benedigi, they are ansum beomelosi.
Sulking, yeah.
Oh,
passive aggressive.
Oh, ansum chitemelo indirect na
passive aggression.
Passive aggression labna pamper bedusumbe. Okay, ansum benala bachindi. Tagi.
Sulking.
And then the Lehan Benedicti in Buddhist vendors, Buddhist and clients.
So if that's the case, more and systems can be built and you know how it works more, why don't you just start your own online bank, man?
Ani, that's why no pays here, man.
Oh wow, what a segue! Talk about no pay. Yeah.
New overseas payments, love no pays the new GN OGO payment. The new overseas payment.
Doesn't mean you don't pay, huh?
Yeah. I need the new overseas payment.
There's a banking application in it.
Yeah.
What do you, okay, let's just give you a touch of what is no pay, a little bit to understand.
We are starting remittance ki delera.
Remittance.
We want to help Buddhists living abroad. Chamchi member, the example like gig workers to some freelancers. So they can't money recipient So from our platform, they can just generate a link and a link which the client will send betante. The client will click to this link, they'll payment site card apply through Zoom, they'll Buddhist account through him. As simple as that. Ani they'll transfer use case the use case the Australia demi, US demi mitsu. If they want to send to their parents, they can send it anyway. So that to the Bhutan antu new benidi. Regulation to say property me and then everyone trust me but no problem. We are trying actually every time.
I like what you're saying. But then a few experiences working with banks, not like she's a service provider, but working with their applications. What I understood is that every time I ask for suggestion within the app, I'll just give you a little bit of backstory. When I was working at Samung, I was producing the DOMCIIP show, no, Bhutanese content and then we did a agreement with BNB, who was our main sponsor, to have the application on the app in Bade. They got testing my suggestions more, and they said every time we make a change more, at the time take beyond. I said why? She loved the Bade. An Indian partner that she got
Yes.
and every time they ask to change, they charge.
Yeah, they change request labe. Machi charge bini me taru.
Wow, we should there.
But Davin, we are learning.
I think you're being such a, what do you call, what's the word to say it? Very ningje businessman. I'm not saying be a predator. I'm not saying but at least more when there is room to gain more, what do you call, revenue, why are you being so modest?
I really want to get trust number.
You cannot be extremely modest. Obviously, market price is made by these vendors.
Yes.
So you can bring it down there, but don't bring it so down. The chair will geek you with it.
Man, like we are increase bedo. I'm not like random with increase kat beni de. We need to do much cost employee so we are like refactoring all day.
But maybe what I always look at startups these days is this is my opinion, I may be wrong, but I worked in a few companies and like somewhat of a the entrepreneurs somewhat I won't say entirely, but somewhat like this podcast is somewhat entrepreneurial even a way more. And then I never remember that. So basically, I need to notice be like same for like in creative industry. Like last time I was talking to Wangchuk from M Studio, and you're saying Bhutanese artists are very good, but they're not businessmen. And maybe more entrepreneurs, they're really good ideas. The idea, but they're not really good businessmen. So maybe starting a startup now. What I would suggest, maybe you don't need. Maybe you can learn it yourself. Maybe you can delegate to one of your staff. Maybe you need a CTO, CFO. I think I would suggest don't do everything on your own. Delegate way. Just look at the finance because then they see what they like. Where check clients up to charge me. Right now you have no one. You're yourself there. And I think this really more is detrimental in my opinion for a company if you don't have that person to just look only at finances, because there has to be someone with a voice of reason.
Startup nalo misum gossip. Chief finance take CTO, and then you have to look everything.
CEO, the CEO.
So the much CFO currently me
and CEO and CTO also.
CTO I have Champel.
So he's doing more the tech work.
Tech work he does almost everything, and then he tried to distribute the amount. Team nagara techniques. So then he look after all the But
are you good with finances?
Kind of.
But then look at your charges there. You're charging significantly low. If I was a CFO, board meeting.
Like if you see starting that you have seen Anite.
But I know what you're doing. It's really smart.
We really want to monopolize especially any customer segment in Bhutan, because the others are also jumping but others.
Which brings me to an older question there. How is your product not replicatable by other startups in Bhutan? Is it replicatable?
It will take time, but it is possible. Yeah, it will take time because they have to learn some back research.
So what did you go through to learn that which will take other people to learn? Is it because of years of experience, luck, or just certain specific knowledge? I teach a daily research paper.
Bhutan ki tech nalo what I'm not sure but general they are just focusing on Bhutan ki tech Bhutan tech if they know like example framework next checks hub to be labe projects so additional explore whereas I tend to join every webinar, especially US ki Silicon Valley ki famo Ansugi and the Singapore tech related ki webinars to join be kongi newsletter so every time hub tele products up open AI plot Ansugi number of blogs up during like 30 minutes 1 hour.
You're keeping yourself well up to date, well read, well up to date.
So that if you want to father check compete bego watching we have to konda chiki flow na jogo ba.
Okay, fair enough.
So ani chiki no me and then chidi watching the alab zumbe the regional specialized tato nam sam chidi mathon but you be watching they can build it. If reaction me watching they say like okay a chatbot Joseph say reaction watching but I watching the mom me say but it will take time if you want impossible possibly but it will
I agree. I chill up halfway because the podcast anyone can start about it.
Yeah, sure.
But like that no one has done the research. Mic research comes to be.
Yeah.
Like now I told you mic like data research be branding, things like how to like other podcasts suta konsuki then content creation gita thumbnail gi ko lenga study byong me how a thumbnail works not. So I've done a lot of dedicated research which says that chill out same. It's not impossible, but in order to get to my level of research, not to my level of knowledge or experience, which can be reached, you need to be so invested and interested.
Yes.
Every day.
Sacrifice like reading skills. Reading skill means reading habit. I usually don't read books. One blogs or read video. And knowledge we stay very up to date with technology. The research papers I'm trying to be like the complex just abstract diagram just to say up to date.
Okay, nice. Okay, now let's go. Let's dial back a little bit again. Now, what do you see? Now, last time, at least from the startup weekend, we met again. Okay, let's just give a touch about what startup weekend. So a couple of months ago, maybe 2 months ago, after I got back from my Thailand trip, I was approached by Samu and Tech Park to be part of their marketing for this startup weekend. So I didn't know what startup weekend was, but I knew a little touch because Norla actually and our friend Trupo, they participated in hackathon and my old colleagues in RSEB also participated. So that's but then Pajo the what do you call so kichidega kuiming just so onirina. Huh? Kuiming kichidega. Ani de nga chimin, huh?
Okay.
Oh, okay rina. Okay, and this is very charismatic man. So basically, my job was basically just to cover up the event and maybe promote at Chibe. But if you have an idea to pitch, I said, I'm there for 3 days. Why not? So I won't get into too much idea, but then basically I pitched an idea. And then, keep the long story short, 3 days, team Chizoi, idea model, how they starting Chizoi, pitch but we didn't win. Even Ugyen didn't win. And congrats to the more teams who won. Some logistic companies, some AI-based company. But what I understood from, at least from government standpoint and thing is, they don't understand AI.
Yeah.
But they really wanted Miss.
Ani
So please still explain it to me. But
I've been working in this industry now 3 years to the more.
So please tell me.
ChatGPT AI everywhere. AI gare khana AI de. No one dares to use it. Only ChatGPT use me. Risk kachi use me chavesi.
Okay, I use a few tools, so I'm not that bad. Okay.
Individual ki beoma se mom gira beoma. And corporate level na se. Corporate level na.
Okay.
Example like booking token system just the AI bunat to bachindi. It can be very efficient. AI knows what they available and then ancham member government agencies nala bedi beria private sector sunal bedi beria. We can AI to watch in the process jomo but they might be at the trust closure maybe because they have no trust product not trust me and then chiti possibly data breach kill up zumbe and even they don't want to mabate. And they are so comfortable with their anide.
Current system.
Rick Chitek Beo ani like let's try it semichi minduba de. But AI the karai long. They need AI karai na. But implement the almost near zero me. We literally have to beg ngachi chatbot use job se. It's a AI help hope se.
Here's my theory. I feel like some director or Dasha secretary is on TikTok or Facebook, and then they scroll and they find a video about AI. Then next morning meeting chibe. Nga kasa video chithoi. AI kole interesting chidu. Chenzu sachi tada. Then next time how the kachira mindu. Then sir Rani Benik then let's permission go away. And the bureaucracy chain goes.
Yeah.
And no one understands and no one does anything. But they all want. Anzum no mga
because information miss any gap to do information gap.
And then what I understood from working little bit companies here and working in Atichi Shung, like little bit here and there, what I understood was the micromanagement not from the top level. And I would have a solution to change Bhutan government. I'll give it to you. Take it, politicians. Take it.
Free advice.
Free advice. Take it. This is for all the what you call contribution as a citizen. And what I realized, like, okay, let's say there is something to be done, okay? In, let's say, simple as office picnic.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, operations you do picnic chip peges long group chat na peges.
Yeah.
To the jala anichuni, sago anichuni, tele turamchuni mes labbe. Everything has to be okayed by the boss.
Hani.
To the point of what you're going to eat, what juice are you going to buy, number of juice.
Hani.
God, boss can prove be way. Okay, I understand. CEO, whatever. Okay, needs to be executive in all the decisions. But if you're really a leader, no, can't you just delegate your fucking tasks? Director, department, okay, I'm the director of operations. Director of operations will handle operations. Here's your budget for the year. Here's your goals for the year. This year, more organize office, what I call camaraderie with the picnic. Make sure that all leaves are taken properly. And at the end of the year, we'll discuss in a shareholding meeting. And if you tishochin, then I'll scold you there. And then if you get soda, you scold your subordinates there. Not gyalama to the point of, yes, sir. Ngachi juice ki budget din mo din le apple nyuni mo orange nyuni mo sipa CEO ki din le memo na yalama. Come on, man. So my thing is, if you really are a really good leader, delegate your tasks to your directors and let them figure it out. Then at the end of the year, analyze, scrutinize, baby tissue in there. My God,
I feel like Bhutanese kenara dume blood nara anzum chidi.
Look, if that was the case, you don't need to go to the CEO's office and PA. No, you can go to the director, IT director, or IT office staff. They'll pass it to the director, and the director you can meet, and he can have the what you call authority and the directing power to actually make a decision, rather than writing a letter and memo and waiting for the committee to come back and say, okay.
Management,
right? Am I wrong? Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yes, you are.
Okay, sorry. Why frustration in Soy? And that's why people say nepotism law. Yeah, you be They
have to wait for
you have to go like this. If you go like this, you get stuck here. So here's my advice to anybody who's coming for as an entrepreneur or anything. It's not like I have expertise or anything. Advice unwantedly. You can criticize me for being stupid. Break the rules. Okay? Break every rule there is. Even if they say, if you can come here in office, go, fuck that. Okay, go there, don't change your chapel. Amchi level na tuwa. You go there, you get your job done, ask for forgiveness, don't ask for permission. Cancelled. I don't care. I didn't specify anything. I'm just feeling like if you want to get things done more, don't do it the more normal route. The system is built for you to not get it done. But I'm proud of you for that historian. At least you've learned at a young age that the system will not work, and you have to go like this. Great experience.
How I should manage finance to sumo. The machika fee etiquette and logistic and internal transportation. I started anything. Through this one, manage penigi. So I started learning analara halamchi and then startup na heavy kanle. I was pretty much anyway. The chiti daru when I started and micromanaging dite. Everyone is very kind of scared some chite dicentric penigi. So they need to wait for ngagi.
Yeah.
But this now I'm ani baby. They are learning. That learning.
I hope so. Because like a couple of years ago, so His Majesty Pa, national dinner, sumigi denda dumenate because of the system right now we're having. It's so bureaucratic, so micromanaged that things cannot get done, and people who are frustrated want to leave the country. So any problem
they need to be like tech example or tech companies in a gym. Look at them and
Yeah. And like for me, 9 to 5 is a scare me. I learned that the hard way. But it depends. If you feel like you're stuck in a 9 to 5 job, then you're not meant to be there, and that's how I felt. But some people, I think they thrive.
Yeah, if they are comfortable, but some people who don't like 9 to 5, example.
I also do.
I
can finish all my week tasks in one day and enjoy 6 days.
I usually late night walker time 9-10 days.
Right now also we're recording this at 10:26 right now. More. And tamanga chimna jo midnight editing job do. But that's just how we work. It's not like saying follow our path more. Ngachigi own style here, but I feel like, if you're compartmentalized to do certain things more, then you become an ant. And but some people, they need it. I realize it's not completely wrong. Some people need the 9 to 5 in order to get into routine, get into discipline.
Robotics I have a team about me. So me gotta say me silalu.
Oh, yeah, you get it. You get it.
Free job watching the do not
do shit. But now report bego and jingle in the
business. Work by the honey. The Datung again started with him the do one of Coraginalo. So I just give deadline more. I'm just a complete benase and then rest Kora Nam Churo Doba Gate with the Berebe Anichi. Anilu is called high agent people never. Hygiene people level. These people can do like complicated tasks. They will complete their shit lower. They complete better correct timeline. So I was ani theory philosophy ani the try I have to deadlines over 100 complete business because deadlines over extend watching the la 1 hour best 3 hours watching 3 hours something best sound compress period amchinara sound so ani cheap press baby discipline sumchi.
I think work styles really depends. You need to find your own style.
Yeah.
And until you figure it out, try everything. Yeah. Try the 9 to 5, try the freelance, try the no work.
Chidi maba ani chi ngadi passion in the at see gani labe mi gaime. So bindigi time tani miss.
Yeah. So you're right. Ngaya passion bindigi ngara time the chi more. Sometimes more 10 hours labe tame. Sometimes 1 hour is fine. But some people they don't have passion in a career. Career and a passion. What kind of English is that? English. Yeah. So they just paycheck is enough, and then I'm just working for the paycheck.
Yep.
But at least from my perspective, my humble opinion, find that passion, and if you work towards it more, it's cliche as it sounds, but it doesn't feel like work. And then more the same government. Wow, I had fun doing this. I'm getting paid for it, rather than working this bloody miserable thing in this cubicle for end of 25th month.
I love building product, but anything I get burden better misoese. Katim chila pile up jodi better burden better misoese. What makes me burden is other things this day. The financial zone gidisu.
Just get a CFO.
Meeting attend bini delay. Deal negotiate bini delay.
So get us the CFO will handle that.
I'm looking.
Same like right now, for example, like this podcast, I'm handling almost everything. Obviously not alone. I was Jamyang, Nola, and then a few other people who come here help me, the interns. So some tasks delegate with us.
Yes.
So obviously we cannot always Superman unless you're a multitasking more superhero. Sometimes ngat sponsored seni lo guest book meaning I cannot think all these things. So that's why I would say like try to delegate as much as you can. If you have the capacity to do. If you don't have capacity, then sacrifice compromise.
Tech is something that I love my career to pay because I have very good team tech. So tech I just get an update chilling, and then client update se. If I have some ideas, okay, I need 2, I need be, and some go, and so the free I go there and lachi you be. If not, most of the time there are email chitti, proposal so meeting attend be, negotiate be, agreement never zoi lara mamra. Hansuki good to know miss. Resti I like developing the
that's something. Same like me. I love creating. Yeah. I don't like the nitty-gritty stuff. So if I can, that's capacity me, but maybe little bit is coming here now and then, like maybe for me to delegate some tasks. And if I have the capacity, even if I might not make as much money because I have to sacrifice such part of my income for that task delegation, I think is better. Because then I can just focus on one thing there. The chair, I think your main thing is product building and then coding or whatever developing you do. Then the other stuff the demo. Yes.
And interest mindigi Binyam seva deep but Thabram be but future in the down the line.
But at least I put in the back of the head. I'm saying that's all I say.
I need team to go over because that doing administrative work this the pro handle I be so that's the Nadra Bocham Chi co-founder and the Chapel handle the Mara watching the I'll try to do my best car. They take you some contact.
But then when I'm going on this rant and saying that about all these things, I don't think it's the problem of the CEOs or the problem of the directors, MS. It's the system which was built on, and they're just stuck on that. And then we need what we call good leaders to say, where system they never more. I want to make a change. And I think if I hope some director or some director Alu or Limpogi Alu is listening and then says, "Oh, food for thought." I'm not saying do it. Let's give it out there. But we're not here to criticize individuals. We're here to criticize the system.
Yes.
System to criticize beyond. I criticize beyond system. Better Benny, because the system is stuck messy. People stuck.
We have to change it slowly. Generation so we still need to step up over the best so graduate. So if they are clear watching the opposition have the low.
But then there are another few. Last time I had was Anisi. I went for a talk with with Wangchuk in YDF, Bhutan Innovates Simchina, and there was a bunch of high schoolers. And another thing which I've recognized is the Gen Alpha and especially late Gen Z. 2000. So you're okay. You're right on the cusp. You're prime Gen Z. Prime Gen Z. But late Gen Z and early Gen Alphas are growing up with a lot of AI, a lot of what they call short form content, and an ADHD spike. And because of the algorithm and because of AI based tools like ChatGPT, things are so easy that you don't have to use your brain mess. So
they are educate in the sense awareness say what they are consuming from on kongi algorithm phone len be kongi algorithm tawdadi damn tara misu anzum kamlo sisi Indian video joros sisu anzum tende me anstave di jungura minde anzum grass just tende me wade so me idea how people judge is chani kongi TikTok algorithm ta is
me too TikTok and IG I say show me explore. And I can like Rinpoche's if I can see your FYP more after like 5-6 judgments I can observe me
okay I never take
palm read the algorithm and FYP read
I'm just okay and me okay and me smart to do and touch shaves and going again I never judge be most of the time
she explored things like we judge more. Jamaica explores okay, it's good.
But and some do see the member the content top to go over there useless tab the gashwin data so damparamu
brain rot the brain rot that's what I'm saying brain rot no more brain rot
the kongi and check you mess brain young indina mashe
no low attention span I think more like Himalaya people have low attention spans, especially Bhutanese. That's what my theory is. It's not like saying that I'm not that. I have very deficient in ADD. But I recognized the problem too. So you doom scroll stop baby. Even though the algorithm is gotten flow bits away, stop baby because I know what you're trying to do. Then I go to my explore page. Then I stupid right click baby. I'm not interested. I try to refresh it. Like sometimes more. I'm a human too. Boom more. They click boom do cosmetic surgery dance Then I recognize where I'm watching too many Blackpink. I go right click, not interested. Then if Arsenal comes up, if MMA comes up, if gym, if some tech comes up with some new tools then I keep it. Then mom or like some puppies is a healthy. So healthy this feed
like kongi mash the different algorithm I recommend if people are much interested and you social dilemmas Netflix you must watch me so
you understand
they will target okay target but we know where we are we can dodge it but
easy exactly
so the lolu mercy me this and so they targeted by victim they get easily influenced and fake news come to the fake news they verify TikTok na trust nam football Formula 1
I'll do a test. It's good information for everyone to know, man. I also found out maybe last year, but it's very interesting. Okay, TikTok logo do na shil tenge. So TikTok logo shame na gara shame mo. TikTok logo. Okay, what do you think the TikTok logo is?
T.
Huh?
T. Manga.
What else do you think it is?
What's that?
Okay. Obviously more. And also a musical note. More, right? Most people think musical note. Second thing is a T. But actually, it's a D.
D?
Yeah, it's a D. Not D.
Yeah, okay.
It's a D. Do you know why it's a D? Why? Because the parent app is called Douyin.
Yeah.
It's called Douyin. Yeah. So there's two apps. One in the Chinese store and one in the international store. TikTok and Douyin.
Yeah.
China
clean.
They not only clean, they have a separate FYP. It's called, I think, like
STEM
FYP. STEM.
Yeah.
So their FYP, the state-owned, obviously, because CCP, Chinese Communist Party owns, controls everything. They don't want their people to be polluted. It just shows stuff like science, technology, engineering, maths, all these things like people should learn, like watching National Geographic. Like wow, it's coming to your feet.
One of the reasons I need TikTok India to bench
obviously.
When you go and ask 10 years China I want to be scientist. Then 10 years I want to be TikToker.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not even the people's fault. Human nature memo. You want something to be entertained. You don't want to learn shit all the time. Like me also, I love science, I love phones, But sometimes I see a TikTok, honey, I want to watch her, man. I want to watch her dance. I want to watch her shake her ass, okay? I'm going to be honest, okay? Sometimes you recognize me. So now the more. When you look, China na mo kunsugi STEM nisu FYP na mo jigs pa CEOs, technopreneurs, all this is memo. Ngachi is based on your interest and based on attacks but what to do? It just attacks what you want. So now if you go to a regular person put this FYP, you see one anti-dancing zonka chapter. You see one you see Tinle positive. You see all these things. I'm not saying these are horrible content, but these are not great content. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Okay, these are just brain rot things to make you laugh, and it's going to repeat, and to the point that you think that's cool. You think you want to be that. Now, if that's what you want to be, cool. Okay, I'm not going to start telling you what you want to do or not. But the reason why it's happening is because this algorithm is built on to show everything that you desire, miss.
But
at least the platform I'm telling people that but at least no. At least no.
I you must watch social dilemma me tarata ani like pirate website
this TikTok algorithm, IG algorithm, YouTube algorithm, it is so sophisticated. They even check where your eyes are moving when you scroll. How long you're watching a content for 3 seconds in the 4 seconds in the control beyond data. Whether you're zooming in an item, how long you kept. Then they'll keep feeding. They're similar to see. Oh, there's a pattern here.
Yeah, interesting. If I guess touch saigi, TikTok if I scroll for 3 times watching the.
It's not me.
It will mean long loss. Sophisticated do. And then even the engineers, they don't know what's going on. They just build the algorithm and then it
takes cost.
It takes also. Any scary part but everyone's like so.
Yes.
But
if you're aware and you have younger nuchus and even your parents last time I caught my dad on a doom scroll watching all conspiracy theories. And I know Zonkagi were covered this. Obviously it was not that harmful, but still like you could tell loop na capture
and like like they give some theory top more fake news coming and then they come to me and ask explain okay this fake enemy and it's our responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If they know the put group gay I help just Himalaya put pyramid scheme lots of one say I'll college na daily viral juice college na please mabe scheme ani hemai thing and pyramid schemes I wrote a blog there. Blog ding I can to enemy lapmo. The middle to give the comment tapni go to me. 밑에 처음에 들어서 오더라고요. 오케이 같이 말하면 들어서 처음에 오케이 anyway I after 3 days BBS 기때인데 it's any scams.
네.
내가 스크린샷 봐 보면 진짜 다다 사치 슬랍데. 뭐 안디 brainwash nga chilak bedaro. Bhutanese game Bhutanese are fragile me. They are very very fragile. They are manipulated chamra jambe.
Amazing. I realize also.
chamra jambe me.
Yeah.
Nga ani cham chis nga most scared ranga Bhutan lo kachi tan me they get easily influence me. Amchi bo influence me. That labgo me demo ani that's verify me best chi kongi. Verify me best information ani me se. HM le lapchi me so chin. Oe so chin good me mo. HM gro la mala suno ma suno ma de they get scared okay ani me lappe. Ani chi do se they and then kempo chi lapchi me so. Ko kempo kai na mi dai mo kachina. Okay so so I'm not saying on district basis we do expect more kempo ro mo.
Of course.
But ani verify validate me be but information
I think we need to all be a little skeptic.
아니 아치 오세 같이 베로 파스 다우트 딜레 고츠 게세 아니 뭐 오케이 이나메나 세미치레 안을 고츠 바친데 오케이 바친데 레스펙트 베데 같이 비모 멤버친데 같이 벤데 아니 치타고 베세 아니 very fragile do but 아니기 사이트 와친데 advantage 도메나 뭐 아치 부탄 수 지천 베메메나데 서포트 베도 좀베 소명하기데 but still then the support the right bedo kamedo gajan tome ai dan chinome butan just very fragile do brain ani jawra influence sonigi so if I really wanted to do I scam bomb ji betan sube
yeah ngayan lavi I was tell manga ai da chulo da ngadi nga scam daily base mabe bi jam chi me lavi mabe jam chi
digirai mai bochi besuni me okay besuni me
to nga pa coinchi zo ragpul sta ji easily da ji jo
oh this crypto new
nga gaslo garan influences lutiru jinmo 1 lakh them chi gar promote be chu manga hemna yo job ya zeta
된다며 뭐 from 아니 hamster로 안줄로 좀 뒤에 파이로 좀 뒤에 but by the technology itself is very 아니 admirable ngandam some ga because these guys started Harvard nalu started asante side project be they wanted to ani phone research be ni be but scope diga de bega mi ba de ani nam some sila but they are saying like mining is not impossible impossible sir not impossible in phone see mind be so phone nam say you can't even do the heavy computers sandi crypto ki darna wada ni chiduba but like hamster see tap now last time such joyce pa in college ki entertainment oh my god na impatient huge passes gara ne be dinus gara ne tap
acha wali generation h no
so
wali tega
why this guy is gaki mala be no tele explain jab tundalu meta thaume maybe 이거 hard joyce
아니 I'll give you one good thing just say once and that's enough just once. If you want to be a responsible person just say once and then if they don't want to listen to it more then don't say it again because it takes two to get one point across but chige lap chi nyengo chi lap pen manyem chin what's the point of saying it again so I understand your sentiment to try to help others but you'll be a waste of breath to say it again which is really good but then it's no point more trying to convince someone who's already in their head mode no
and then they believe ani news chi mo verify berma bo wa media ga na letro amchi zodan no zeojin
gadebi
zoiga ani shobina retina mide mo
the fact check there
makamena michige ngai tro amchi zoizojin damn mi the same ga
don't ask how it's done but once you start losing money they want to know how you lost it how you made it first of all you agreed to this
ngai lapchi se also and put group na they lost 8,000 5,000 6,000 already boom this morning they lost I lapchi from bay ma but they want to know kimi juru choose lapde so anjun lapde to be demo pongi how go no but they want to try me but
okay
so ngai lapchi okay to try
fine fair enough
and to the lalu dus nera man ignore business no
let your ego go check ego ye hurt chere juni me de
tamko javi okay so de lapchi ngare ke to
de tamalas if they stop no you just get satisfied ego boost be kachik pen pura me
this is shadas labe
but then
but ngare close friends I try to say the anima way sounds
but I think that's angachigi corporate service responsibilities which I mean as individual citizen responsibility but
that's good is any research bench the anti hapo bechi but try be what
and then let's end on the last but then finally what I would say is like I also use a lot of AI apps. I also use a lot of social media apps. But at least I recognize a certain point that I cannot be too reliant. Entertainment, atra phone goes in, I'll be heavily dependent. My screen time will go high. So if your screen time is 8 hours right now and you're watching 2x this video, then such you need a little bit of detox. I would recommend.
And the one thing that if you guys are using ChatGPT, so you can go to setting baby and don't trend with my data. Toggle button you can turn it off. So that your data will not used to train on ChatGPT model.
But ChatGPT 4 the sophisticated update information. I wanted to have a script for one ad I was doing for one insurance thing.
No, daddy, let me know. Information update means now it's real time information here.
Oh my God.
Real time.
Sports insurance script make it funny comical. Whether you're playing futsal in Chanjiji specific. So this AI model knows that Chanjiji na futsal is the ground is.
Before ChatGPT weakness was this day. They were not up to date time. So other applications started coming more up to date.
Yes, they're complete.
Let's rack complex version is. The rack complex version. I regulate the data so the rack complex internet data pool baby zoom into answer this other architectures answer there. So the ChatGPT na hema daddy when you type something real information data, it will go to website karna jo information collect bay and then make it your answer there. So she said, if you say that I want to visit Bhutan, punakana trip zona zawachindi. Amtip some chimra shebe. Go to Amtep Chimna and then you do go to rafting, do crafting service, phone number Rani, call this pura detail. A class chip
Scary me
fascinated
fascinating of course, but now exponentially if it gets better, maybe they'll know that Ugyen Tech likes cake and
episode please sorry.
Oh please and thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Oh Ania the technical point of view is also one place thinking. So the actually normal than concept they are guys. Reason do what they move. It's agree because Umbachindi they can anime what like real nami AI too Umbachindi.
But we're trying to moralize what you call a technology which most likely will not become sentient unless we're living in the age of Ultron. The technical side and thank you please love the law. High probability of giving any answer. Okay. Because all these LLMs and large language models which is AI LLMs are trained on huge amount of anything conversation data Facebook data so we have a technique called contextual farming and context matching. So contextual farming is something like basically making a scenario where you are trying to bake the example conversation actually please you please love the luchas pambe okay so handsome scenario create with AI. So the AI will also learn about the conversation to so please love the answer please malam answer light bitching they learn to the chiani, the contextual matching. So everything because but a couple of years ago, Dota came up with a bot, the AI bot called OpenAI. So basically, it was very simple first. It was just 1v1. So they trained one AI model to learn to play one hero and simulated over 1,000 million times more. So it learned from scratch, to the point that it didn't know what right click meant. It didn't know what left click meant. Then the right click left click so on.
That's how model trained
it became impossible to beat that AI human. Finally, out of maybe pro team players, and it was a revolution. But guess what? Now he beat him and he learned it. Incredibles is a movie. Cartoon. Incredible ki first villain syndrome builds a thing about what you call machine learning droid, which every time you fight a villain comes back, learns how to defeat him, beats him. So basically, it advanced over and over, and then 5 team more. So now it's undefeatable. So my fear is future now they'll make robots and droids which will simulate millions of battles more. Then take over there. There's a Terminator right there. But the Terminator will not be robot controlled. It has to be a dictator controlled.
But as a pro AI guy, and so possible to do it might reach in this kind of position, but zooming we might have controls.
Yeah, but what about its control of someone who's not, for peace and harmony?
Reinforcement learning they learn by doing the. They try to adapt others behavior cloning
for sure I'm seeing like within our lifetime robots patrolling the streets as police, as mechanics, us literally like saying that light AI help this, then I move the chicken sheet up, then light tick on chop. It's gonna happen. At least in my lifetime.
This AI wave is on humanoid robot is not it. Gen AI generative AI chatbot now it's agentic AI agent where you make decision online and so now the people are investing so much money into a humanoid robot.
How about the artificial intelligence maybe artificial sentience
sentience
sentient beings okay, made by whatever the greater good or the god or supernatural being.
Okay.
Maybe we are that supernatural being. Or deity for the next generation or whatever the fuck is gonna happen. Artificial sentience.
Possible. And
right?
We call it AGI. Say artificial AGI. There's lots of face by AI. You call it weak AI. Weak AI. Currently we call it weak AI. Our AI is very weak, but its fault is weak AI. So it's just good in one particular task. ChatGPT watching content creation. So other watching the photo classification. So these are the weak animal. So AGI is the artificial general intelligence. AGI. So these are basically terminators. They have their own brain more. They make their own decision. They are good at everything. So ante company OpenAI Cloud all their mission is to be here. AGI fast
so the race to AGI now. So the Hema downfall, let's say 1940s race to the nuclear now right now is race to AGI.
It's called it AI war. Starting everywhere, competing to reach there. But there are some theories and some, I'm not sure news right but they claim that some people has achieved there. It's just that they don't want to public mazuni. They have achieved internally say. But question asked about they said but insider whistleblower.
No.
They are saying achieved
maybe a lot of conspiracies. But here's my another which I feel like is a better that dark future good future anime. I feel like every information will be completely free so there'll be no room for scrutiny. No one can come up and say hide something or fake news because check. I know what the truth is. I know you're trying to do. So as civilization is getting more advanced and smarter, we know so many things like how diamonds are a scam, scarcity, banks also are a scam. 9 to 5 somewhat is a scam to control by the government systems, the powers that be. And how, algorithms are built to manipulate and brainwash. News outlets are backed by agendas and influence. At least with the information we have now. So as civilization gets more and more advanced, then more of these secrets will be known by us. And then it's for the people who know better to then train them. And then now governments can hide less.
Yes. Like, there's advantage the disadvantage.
Yeah, but my fear is if the bad beats the good, good will exist in evil will exist in good more. There will be someone who's equally more smart who will say that Sunday they won't use it for evil, I'll use it for good. Like for example, Telegram ki jinda de. See you go. That guy created like Facebook of Russia. This secret now of the Mijil Gara server boypart chapta, dipped made Telegram, encryption free, and now hiding more. He's like a hero and also the WikiLeaks guy. WikiLeaks guy chidi. There was a guy a few years ago, I forgot his name. Snowden Shega. Edward Snowden, koi whistleblower, CIA.
No.
So when Anzum Joni, but the media always tries to hide them. But then internet is so vast. You know, you can always dig it up. Like even Telegram, I didn't know about it until I looked it up like on TikTok or YouTube short video.
I was very admiring of him. He's very young.
He said, yeah, dope people take it, use it.
That's why the advantage time data very secure government.
Yeah, but also room for dark web.
Dark web, it's basically dark web.
Yeah, man.
Kidnapping happens there.
Yeah, trafficking, everything.
Everything happens. Number had beja me
So my just hope is that hopefully there are more good people who'll use it rather than bad people.
So the government the point is that from your platform people are smuggling guns and some that's why they are catching the but nanata watching they want data the government want data but koi imagine so ani the baijan galping give the jail
anyway
he was in dual citizenship Dubai the friends
okay so asylum seek
so he was in Dubai nalo and then somehow ko girlfriend trip friends so friends police they can't catch him if he is Dubai so perhaps the look girl they posted window click baby airport Instagram and then girl and police CIA spy they mo 4 hours mo phone check profile check by hip chin nam to thim chin ma sha guden jigs
yep now he's done locked
that's
the media is hiding.
But I'm pretty sure to do because recently podcast in the sense talk show to do. He was a conversation with Ghana so I believe to do because his lawyer was fighting but he has lots of money there. Good lawyers 67 lawyers.
Throughout all this conversation, what I understand is, I think we're both curious to know the truth and facts. Whereas most people, they don't care about it. And they're okay to live in the timukpa lives and ignorant to have fun because it doesn't occur to them.
They are not open and adaptive. Okay.
But they don't want to look at that perspective. There's actually a term, jumping a little bit, it's called the Turner-Kruger effect. So it basically means that you're biased and convinced your mind that whatever you think is right, and anybody who says anyways is wrong.
I hardly debate concrete evidence I can't obviously if palelami rang rok chobachin nin debi na smile jibe okay tubs lappe over bullshit chimes watching I try to ignore because if I know what they want housing stand the message I try to ignore more to just anyway course anyway nin be lappe and the government if it is important you take it ba mo members in the quota de ani.
Okay, getting a little bit okay. So let's now move into a little lighter subject, getting too deep into AI. But obviously, I think because Shira, you're in your tech company, and I'm also Chungale. I was not really much of a developer software, but I was always like that up to date. CNET Disuta, IGN Disuta. I was always trying to get up to date with tech. No, the Himalaya CNET was my go-to for all the tech news. Top 10 apps of the week. I used to say. This was the days of the Angry Birds. Angry Birds ki story sad though. Angry Birds popular day was the khatara but later on it became pay to win zone was the feature.
Oh, okay.
So they made like the issue you cannot play until next day unless you buy any life pack. And so pay to win, they pay to win now. Pay walls but that's now what to do now. All the apps down there.
At one point, they were every phone not the lam.
More. But then people probably don't even think Plants vs Zombies anyway. Plants vs Zombies anyway.
Then you go up to me the llama big what they.
That ADHD in the subway stuff for Gamma. So the game gets in the main mode Bhutanese sugi. Like other than ML and PUBGs, what is the Candy Crush of this generation? Get you me?
It's hard to the daughter than the chance to me.
It's better, yeah. Better that at least your attention is locked in for like 1 hour rather than 5 seconds every refresh.
Whenever I work, I'll do YouTube on the show. So YouTube algorithm is so good because I have 2 accounts, but the most chidi Ugyen Tech chidi random. And randomly I kept for like exploring top this the chidi and Ugyen Tech I kept it for my good content.
My Spotify, my TikTok, my IG is like totally like understands me because Hemla is winning. But TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify more. Because my taste is very vast. Sometimes I listen to death metal, sometimes I listen to hip hop. More Spotify, then YouTube gear more. They don't know what to suggest. Because sometimes my taste changes. So YouTube algorithms all over the place.
Again, TikTok. So I again. TikTok na handle ben lakatam actually love some tenomete.
But then I know TikTok is been to be honest. Like sometimes 3-4 swipes I get bored. I was like, what the hell is this brain rot content?
Games no jomesi. Games no online games na. Like PUBG bero nam dunale chombe ma hepchin boring themes.
What the hell? Gachibe.
Gachibe ni la boring theme.
No, now find some guns there. Now find some armor, find some helmets.
Boring theme ani bimu. Then ani that the online game the me almost like almost near to zero right.
Wow,
I used to play Formula 1.
Yeah.
I used to play laptop. The DHC with the laptop gani arrow buttons are damage so on the laptop heavy asmo then till time. The Charogi laptop I just watch Chita Mamra any podcast chinian be by community and Chinachugi.
We're gonna talk about F1 up to the 1 hour 30 minutes AI lissimo. So let's if we talk about F1 I think another 1 hour you should do because you also a big fan.
Yeah, I'm so much fan man.
And I was a fan at one point, but now I've lost touch. But I want to get back in the new season. Follow.
Yeah.
Because actually let's touch a little bit because it's so fascinating. Because it's basically you have to be sharp in the brain and the body and the reflexes have to be top notch more.
Like
and everything illiteracy. You have to be the perfect human being to be at the top of this level memo.
Use 72 laps watching the use 70 times you have to stop in same position and break up what it. I think the 2 centimeters lock up. I'm same point of break, same blind follow. Precision. Yeah. I'm keep perfection.
And in Chile, like in order for them to make their supercars,
170 million they join them.
Every season.
Yeah, they have their they cost so much they were the but any day they made some cost cap more than Kim Chungu Disulu they
cap limit
example
so fair
Red Bull Ferrari Mercedes they have lots of money they can spend every time gari fast song they must chungo Haslo Williamson they sponsor them because this financially intense technology more pinnacle is
engineering more
top notch engineer
like let's stop them in the past 10 years comes advancement from 10 seconds to 3 seconds to like now milli comes fast.
Right now the current season if you do more than 2.5 it's slow it's slow 2.5
pit stop
2.1 2.2 2.3 is average the world record is 1.90 1.8 McLaren
4 tires changed
4 times. Each tire there will be 3 people there. 2 people will be lifting, 2 people will be holding car.
Just
That's the story that I told actually last time. The NASA how we came to get technologies here.
NASA came.
Yeah, NASA came to get and they hit hit technology so that they can make hit shields on it. They came to Mercedes Mercedes technology na se. The Mercedes was so our technology is so complex. Scientists you just go to Haas. Haas is the very bottom team. Haas where William Chinajobe, you get their technologies, technology.
And even though they were the worst in the F1, the technology was still sophisticated enough for NASA to use it.
So they used it. So they were, if they are allowed to do, they can make so fast
So it just goes to show that NASA is completely underfunded in one way because all their technology, at least the engineers, right minds are paid well in F1 because it's entertainment, it's monetized. Whereas NASA, the research for the greater good.
Like they have their pattern. And so the pattern technology.
Patterns.
If you see Formula car, if you are not a fan, useless. But if you see suspension, inner pull, outer push, aerodynamic now they play so different styles and even wings angle this way. They play lots of factors than speed zone. Even if they pull like 0.00 millisecond, the car is fast. 0.00 milliseconds, if you can jump from 10 position to 5th, 6th inside the arms. If you are able to, when you hold if they are able to pull 1 second more, they are very fast. It's talk about a millimeter logic.
Margins.
Yeah, margin. Their engine, and then technically, downforce the downforce the one their aerodynamics so that they can stick me by the malu. Their gari kolota watching their color is flat so they don't grip it. They need to heat up, move with the heat pumba. So they need to heat up so that any heat temperature so heat jojim when you move, stick bending a grip. So technically, Formula 1 this gari if you meet in maximum speed and they can stick upside and go downforce because pulling power.
Because of NASA technology that full force 300 plus kilometer per hour more wall go they'll still survive the more.
What is so? Hani see the technology comes to evolve Hemadi they like then the recent modern technology like I can say from 2018 the day they introduced hello lapet ane ring chibi ane betu bade hema then hello me bade direct open spacing see so driver to collapse to gutoma reban shimo bade so the FAI longba carbon body di and FAI and hello industry special di 0 case of ante
why can't you incorporate this in all commercial cars?
Yeah, they do, but so there are some cars, but who, example, do you need a hybrid car? They electric and both.
Yeah.
So this technology is adapted from Formula 1.
Oh, nice.
Formula 1 brought it most. Honda is one of the engine supplier of Red Bull. So Red Bull engine. So their engine should be hybrid. Electric so the electric is like boosting. When you click this ESC forget and just electric power so the electric motor get additional force so they both there and technology adapted from there.
But what's faster, Formula E cars or Formula 1?
Formula 1 obvious, man.
E. Why can't we get to the E level?
E because first of all because of sound.
Yeah.
And it sound easily they invest so many money.
To get a feeling, yeah.
No. Formula 1 E is like normal to normal to if you need some basic sense because YouTube creators this last time but
Mr. Beast
so Formula 1 you can't, man. So Formula 1
G-force
G-force color.
Why Formula in the G-force me? They also going 200.
You need the
so you're still saying that more fuel is still more powerful than electric at this point?
At this point.
Yeah.
Motor they can't pull babies. Accelerating power they high. If you put a Formula 1 and from
0 to 100, E will win, yeah.
E will take much because they
but they will not be able to maintain this.
No, they will never maintain. And split they can increase the gears and then turning points now they have their better aerodynamic complex future is electric car.
Okay, so the good Mimo. So when you finally do invest in the car, what are you going to get?
Bhutan
let's say budget is within, let's say, reasonable budget. Not too low, but a little bit high. 25 lakhs. Okay, what would you buy?
25 lakhs.
Okay. You're a car fan. You just talked about hybrid. You talked about the power of whether more fuel. Like which car you'll buy? Economics car consideration.
Economic car. I'll buy electric. Electric car. Yeah, electric.
Which one? BYD.
Yeah, BYD.
Which one? Sedan or?
Which one? Sedan.
Sedan is more like a shape, while as SUV the shape.
Yeah, SUV one day. BYD. If not, I like Tesla.
Tesla na Bhutan people have the money.
Shipping
cost.
Yeah, it's very high, but but once they produce in India, they will bring.
I saw last time Sangit Motors na self-driving car.
Yes.
How will they do it in our bloody roads, man?
BYD, I would remember.
Whatever it is, I forgot who it is. But how will they do it in our roads? Roads, speed bump, but Pedestrian is a god damn me. This is across. Show me so sorry.
Yes, la be dani me Bhutan.
Let me see. God damn, don't buy that self-driving car, please. Bhutan manyo. Pa dochula jaul biuse. Mi ko seo minyo, papnyo, minyo, nonyo.
But there anita menalo expressway na di it's road is suitable dadni gidela. But mitsu at dumena de. Tenome ones na.
But how's the ABS recognition system?
Tesla and BYD difference they use different type of sensoring made. BYD use lidar lidar.
Oh, lidar.
And then Tesla use camera there. So camera gidi if there's something invisible zoomchi and they can identify him. So identify lidar gidi. Lidar is considered as any bomber. But the Tesla gave him the Tadinan do lidar do board do. So when the Bhutan Cheni grass na thenon dumena and the lahatam mes ani riksam to rest on express when it will can
but the speed bump moves today will you not this escalate
hey how
yeah
I'm
okay not that bad
and just ancham cheese me atok the thenom the lo but atok no home there's some cases there safe to gear there's some cases to go gear the lechidi ani just like the night nuts see poor up there BYD is pretty good in night churuna ani meat buster na khana chi test pe wade they try
to surprise no tame
put it and glass this to mirror this they try daily
she recognize me where
test like me be ta test like to me tom beauty okay but Tesla I like they are the one the pioneer electric
yeah well, sure
I like but I also like China
yeah they know how to make it cheap they know how to make it efficient and even last time I was watching this podcast about this Manigi up and he was telling me like Tim Cook people think that we go to China for all this manufacturing and all. Why do you think we go to China usually? Yeah, normal. Actually, why all these most of the things that we have are manufactured in China? Why? Think about it.
I know some market benidiki. I go because of funny day. Price into price but quality low. The highest.
Okay, then you're on the right path. Yeah. Most people think is we go to China because but also similar in your ways because it's cheaper. It's not the cheapest anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Now Cambodia, Vietnam.
Are coming,
these are cheaper, much cheaper. India, labor much cheaper. Malaysia, now people go to China because it's expertise, because they know how to do large scale production efficiently. When
I build robot but the other because me cheap in China ko and lasting China they build best electronics
The thing is, anime, what I learned from the podcast, forgot his name, please God save me, but someone find it. But anyways, he said Chinese are really good at low scale mass production. So and people think that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You can sell economics of skill and become really rich economics.
When they mass they think quality reduce. Quality will be same, but you duplicate over there. Cheap but if you look at the other side, the quality basic robot motors if you brought from India, China cheap India China gidi match battle bots
expertise
so good me
robot. So like if you give, let's say, more Chinese manufacturing guy, okay, here is my mic, this is the parts, this is how it's assembled, here is the blueprint, more next year assembly line and you cannot compete anywhere Chinese give. But if you say, here's my microphone, I want you to create something better than this, then anime. So what goes to say is that still right now America and the European brands are still better at designing that that's why Apple when you ever see your iPhone is manufactured in China, but they clearly write designed in California because they're proud of the design.
Yes
they're proud of the design. So some things UI
UX packaging to say but packaging design are all done by Balti. Luxurious film.
That's why the Chinese, so that's why I feel like Asian genes maybe are genetically we're better at replicating things, but not creating new things. And sometimes I doubt Asian because I don't think I can come up with something completely sap 10 minutes on tome.
Yeah.
Look at the example ChatGPT came out and then Chinese DeepSeek. Tak so time
Yep.
they can replicate like no other message. But something what have they innovated something new? They just found something which works elsewhere, knew how to replicate it, do it better.
But misconception do say DeepSeek da but as a working on AI field, but there are lots of other people who say like DeepSeek is better than AI. It's better in cost. Their cost is better
affordable,
more affordable. Benchmark it comes near to OpenAI.
But OpenAI is still slightly better.
But yeah, any knowledge, it's better AI. Any OpenAI ChatGPT is still better. But the most amazing thing is, they said OpenAI, if you want to train this kind of model, we need millions of dollars. No, Mongo. We have our own algorithm. This is our white paper. You can copy. It's open source. Open source is pura. We can do it in under 10 million, under 6 million. They did it under 6 million, man. And whole 6 million. Kongi 80, 90 million. 10 million.
Hey, anime, the China thing. They can do it, replicate it, do it better and cheaper. Much cheaper. Any whole world shake because of their computing cheap not because of performance. That's all the tariffs they're coming there. The tariffs are all coming because of that. Because Chinese know how to make it cheaper about it. And Americans like, I can't do this now. Market daily map tham do.
The tariff they're coming reason one of this reason. So and then China US also stopped exporting and the GPU graphic card and NVIDIA. So,
but that also made by the Korean guy. All Asians.
So they beat it about the baby. So Joe Biden, they made a law that you can't export limit to Sojabe and the export by the So when China train it, China lo malam they pass it through Singapore. Singapore so but
the Chinese they can make their own thing about GPUs.
They have their NVIDIA pattern.
But they can pattern bar help look recreate
they are trying, but
probably they could and they'll probably sell it for much cheaper and people like us will benefit. Okay.
They have started the chip processing. The chidante Taiwan the chip processing Taiwan so they have partnership deal with NVIDIA, so they can sell this and about others.
But Taiwan the Chinese they
to drop a that's why they're not able to process. So NVIDIA is the bunale.
But this guy made these chips for gaming and then lastly became for computing.
He evolved. This guy is so dynamic. He evolved. Got the trainer to this. He put it for crypto he made it crypto dedicated GPUs. Game gaming GPUs. AI dedicated and then last night AI war he's bunna look through kepsa.
Market control.
He became the Microsoft of computer age. So computer Zonitel Josimo. OS Kaimi, everybody should buy Microsoft. And he became world richest man. That's the reason I'm so Dato Inalo watching the NVIDIA.
But the other GPUs, there's Radeon, AMD.
AMD's but they don't have AI dedicated. AI dedicated. Only for AI they have Blackwell also the NVIDIA again. But they are coming up. The market, the trending is going their side. So they have put lots of research on it. They are building, but not up to NVIDIA. Everyone prefer NVIDIA. King mete bhai.
Right now in this state of time, NVIDIA is. But staff got a millionaire more. Staff got a millionaire, not staff.
The only company who is billionaire.
Why are they working? Retirement? Why are they
working? They started doing losses. So at the Rixe Belo, CEO is so convenient. Start being why they don't want to work club.
Obviously, you're set for life.
They can invest something to more rest life.
Let's say you're paying $1 million, $10 million a year, 5 million crypto not so. Then just shut the fuck up and just sit home and chill more.
But they're still talented. DeepSeek Beukapsula market down 1.2 trillion down.
Oh damn.
Because of ante less GPU na benis. Some of the GPU nam some go mindu ba
market demand. Okay.
But the climb bede. Hemadi wa lama this guy is trillion touch big data. That is still trillion no.
$1 trillion company. Yeah, well, sure. Sure. Top at least top 10, no? Top 10, if not top 5. Top 1 the Apple.
Alphabet the Apple Hanina
Alphabet Apple no much.
Hanina tribe top 1 trillion.
Because
Facebook Meta Hong Kong trillion.
In the unicorns in the
unicorn me. Unicorn the $1 billion unicorn.
Yeah, so this ultra unicorn ultra unicorn Pro Max.
Pro Max super
unicorn black with the rainbow horn man. Black unicorns even rarer than a unicorn man.
1 billion usually the unicorn mete. So this kind of unicorn the Bhutanese go is no.
Okay, they try it.
Yeah,
who knows?
Dream run mete.
Yeah, man.
Like if one ki best watching the others can best
I feel like right now, last time I was talking to other people, like obviously actually we have always the sentiment to compete, but if let's say one thrives in Bhutan, becomes really ultra rich, and if he has a good sentiment to help, he can help 700,000 people, man.
Sure,
easily.
I mean, see, ngaji Bhutan can do see. One if Chicago watching the if it's in Silicon Valley, if one person does jigs business me, property also no. He will try to invest at least 40% profit nale company channel at least by help be demo tele ani jo watching the resume de so if they got rich to be
okay, so how come in our history, at least in the last 30 years, from the 90s to now, from the tech boom, whatever you may call it more, how come we have still no billionaires and no billionaires helping ourselves, man? How come, man? How come not yet? If maths is maths more, probability is probability, inevitable, at least we'll get 1 billionaire in our time.
It gets very deep there. Like the personal was down. It gets very deep.
Okay. All right, so we can talk about that off camera. Okay, so last number, now we get, like I said, the choose we were supposed to deviate to a little lighter hearted, but then again, look, we went back into this. So let's talk about, since we were into the tech episode, what are your top 5 apps which you use?
Right now?
Whether it be recreational or functional. Apps, top 5 apps in your phone right now.
WhatsApp.
Okay.
Top nala.
Okay.
Second would be email. The third the ChatGPT.
No.
The Facebook then me IG the TikTok fourth now. The last the let me see what app just do.
What's on your home screen? Home screen nagachi.
Maragi NoMind.
Okay. Okay. What about on the dock nagachi?
Let's dock now.
Dock de. This is the dock. Ani dock long bade. Ani dock. So for me, phone, Spotify, camera app, and Instagram. Calendar, Google, ChatGPT. Wow, the dock you can understand what a person you are. So I like music, taking pictures, phone call, and social media. Check the AI, mails, call, and then
I need to update with them time tables.
Okay.
So I'm very like the iPad tansu.
Screen time what do you do? How's the screen time?
Usually when I stay in college about it comes like 1 hour to 2 hours phone nalo.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Laptop na mam diu mate mapler.
Laptop screen time.
24 day. Laptop de. One bindi.
Okay, chill out man. Like you saying that my podcast is to tong me YouTube na time. What did you watch on YouTube?
YouTube na.
Yeah, what do you watch?
Like mamra podcast tong and then any case study, economic case study so.
Okay.
The business case study so. I watched this time.
When you're not watching SciPod, what other podcasts are you watching?
Ani Y Community ki they have light concept.
Okay.
And then Dustin versus Y Community in there, and then they have A16Z lape spring speed drums lape.
What's that?
It's business.
So amongst all that, how the hell do you fit in SciPod, which is the most unserious banter-filled podcast? Get this mote.
Hanti break na lo. I listen this sound to tell me what they labe pero the gadget.
Okay, she algorithm. Why are you watching my content? Is it because Bhutanese benigi, or is it because I don't know. There's so many other things like Flagrant 2, Joe Rogan podcast, all the other funny, impulsive.
Podcast casual podcast chigi chamchi. Casual podcast. Rest gara business related podcast.
So the brain off to chop down the guy no yamin.
Yeah, to code break up solo. I sap episode of machindi. Then tajimi. So the members in the breakdown now so
okay.
The think school sechi the slide bins answer case study how and some business kadabe implement bega and case study tong like think school gi like economic case study tong bade how Indians are doing ani tele Varun Dabala Indian gi and then AVTVs lape this also do case study Indian gi nedi
Okay.
So the US ki dinale watch the ani 500 global ki YouTube ya anya to.
All this educative kind of channels.
Hanjam
Okay. Other than that, whether it be entertainment or more, like infotainment or whatever it be, that's a social dilemma. What are the other maybe 3 or 4 recommendations you can ask people maybe to check out?
Ani the list
Okay. The social dilemma.
Contact me WhatsApp beru ajina beru I will give list which summer vacation pura tajin da summer vacation
They just give like at least 4, yeah.
Oh, 4. First of all, Silicon Valley de tarata.
Oh yeah, love
6
Silicon.
episode karata. Season and then China episode 10 days homo. You watch every time.
It's so
I
good.
saw 7 days
You can learn about how like capitalism and how things work, but it's also very funny, very unserious.
Ani the like seen all anime based on true story. But story ashtanik baby.
Oh, it's fun.
So you watch this
Silicon Valley, social dilemma,
playlist. Playlist and the story of Anide Spotify, how Spotify came into
Oh, I want to check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
playlist. Ani Spotify got the ben biga. Ante pirate basic.
Pirate Bay, I always use it, man.
Ante anigi anda chika
Movie,
got
series, yeah.
anda chika got the complete dega and play playlist na lo playlist.
Okay.
So Anita and then other would be $1 Billion Quote. It's about Google Earth ki kole. Google Earth mena. Ani got the true student mile Google gi got the snish big idea.
Oh.
So ani true instead lam ni mindu but ani the anzum chime but
accusation.
Made ani the court case chamdi but they couldn't confirm. Hi acho.
Okay. Then last.
And then I can give 5 chige to Silicon Valley lapchi $1 Billion Quote lapchi. $1 Billion Quote lapchi mo playlist lapchi and then watch this Mad Unicorn.
2%. Huh? No, we're wrapping up. Don't worry.
Mad Unicorn lape. It's about Thai Guineas logistic chiwa and Flash Express lape. And you unicorn. Ani Thai ki first unicorn company.
Okay.
And Mad Unicorn longba for as model last chi the social dilemma lapchi mo. What estimate Netflix na chere mundo lesho isa. Chere mo da. Next time, text is
okay, all right, okay. Since battery is finishing, thank you again.
Thank you so much
for coming. I think we talked about a lot of deep seeked into deep AI. We can talk more outside of camera, don't worry. But then before we end the podcast, a little light-hearted question, Shigil. We were talking about your favorite content, favorite lace culture mo.
Yeah.
No.
I like blue.
Another one for the blue. Blue keeps winning. All right. Okay. Then
green got the blue
okay. Now I think we must wrap up because 2 hours I asked no and what do you call battery should be there. So if you watched till the end to this episode, thank you so much. I'm not sure how many will watch because the conversation was very geeky, which most of you guys might not be interested. But if you have watched till the end, thank you. I hope you learned something. I hope you hated the things we hate. Also love the things we talked about. And if you want, if you have not subscribed till now, I would consider you guys to subscribe. Most of you guys not subscribed or watching.
Please.
Thank you. And if you want to join my membership program, everyone, thanks the members right here. You gotta thank them fast. Speed run. Okay, 1%. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Doti, my PODHEAD Pro. We love you. And finally, Ugyen Tech, what last plug you have? Shoot it now.
Love you guys. Okay,
look out for NoMind, AI chatbots and all the banking apps, and also NoPay in the future for the remittance coming our way. Till the next episode, thank you. Bye-bye. And clap. That's all.
Boy.